The glowing red numbers on my car's dashboard read 3:17 a.m. My breath was fogging up the inside of the windshield, and I remember thinking that human beings aren't supposed to hibernate in a 2015 Honda Civic. Just 6 months ago, on April 12th, I was sitting with my fiancé, Liam, finalizing the tasting menu for our wedding. The budget was $50,000. Tonight, my entire net worth was exactly $14.32. And the only two people I had ever truly trusted were the reason why. A jarring mechanical roar broke the silence. The street sweeper. I had to move again. That was the rule of this life. Relocate every few hours. Try to be invisible. I turned the key, the engine coughed to life, and I drove 2 blocks over, searching for another dark patch of curb to call home. My name is Maya. I'm 29, and until recently, I was a successful freelance graphic designer and the proud owner of M Design LLC. My life was built on 2 pillars: my work, which I loved, and my family, specifically my sister, Chloe, and my fiancé, Liam. I used to think the worst thing you could discover is that you've been cheated on. I was wrong. The worst thing is discovering the 2 people you love most in the world have been working together, methodically and silently, to financially execute you. The day I saw the wire transfer wasn't just a breakup. It was the demolition of my entire world. But to understand how meticulously they planned it, we have to go back to last Christmas. I can still picture it. We were at that fancy Italian place downtown, celebrating a huge client I'd just landed. Liam raised his glass, his smile so warm it could melt steel. He toasted to us, then looked at me and said, "Maya, you're the creative genius. Let me handle the boring numbers, the invoices, the business accounts. That way you can just focus on what you do best." It didn't feel like a takeover. It felt like love. Chloe was there too, squeezing my arm and saying how proud she was. This was her signature move, outward support laced with something else. I remember her borrowing my expensive camera for a weekend trip and it coming back with a new scratch. Her constant casual comments, "Wow, another big contract. You must be rolling in it. It's so great one of us is successful." She even asked for a $2,000 loan to cover her rent, which I gave without a second thought. They weren't random events. They were rehearsals. The day it all unraveled was October 10th, a Friday. I was in my home office, putting the finishing touches on a massive branding project for a new, high-profile tech client, a CEO named Mr. Vance. At 11:15 a.m., I tried to purchase a new font license for the project. The company card was declined. I tried again. Declined. A cold dread started creeping up my spine. At 11:18 a.m., I switched to my personal debit card. The screen flashed 2 words: insufficient funds. My heart started hammering against my ribs. At 11:25 a.m., I tried logging into my business banking portal. Incorrect password or username? I knew I hadn't changed it. My hands were shaking as I clicked forgot password. The recovery email wasn't mine. It was Liam's. The bank's hold music was infuriatingly cheerful. Finally, a human voice. I verified my identity, answering a dozen security questions. Then the agent said, "Ma'am, I see the problem. Your account balance is $112.30. There was a wire transfer 2 days ago on October 8th for $87,450. I told him the transfer was unauthorized. He paused. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but it was authorized by the secondary account holder, Liam Parker. The transfer was made to a new holdings account. I asked for the name on that receiving account. His next word stopped my breath. It was opened under the name Chloe Evans, my sister. The first 48 hours were a blur of eviction notices and pure panic. I sold my furniture for cash, packed my essentials into my car, and drove away from the apartment I'd shared with Liam. My plan didn't have a name yet, but it had a purpose: survival. Later, I'd call it Operation Phoenix. The first step was gathering evidence. I pulled out my phone. My first screenshot was a text to Liam. "My bank account is empty. The bank said you authorized an $87K transfer. This is a mistake, right? Call me. His reply didn't come for hours. When it did, it just said, "We need to talk." It's not what you think. My next screenshot was a text to Chloe. "Liam transferred all my money to you. Tell me this is a joke." Her reply was instant. "Maya, you're being so dramatic. It was for a business investment for all of us. We were going to surprise you." The lie was so blatant it was almost impressive. Days after I started living in my car, I missed a project deadline for the first time in my career. My millionaire client, Mr. Vance, called. His tone was sharp. "Maya, I don't pay for missed deadlines." With nothing left to lose, I told him a carefully worded version of the truth. "Mr. Vance, I've had a catastrophic personal emergency that has temporarily displaced me. I am still 100% committed to this project. I humbly ask for a 48-hour extension." There was a long pause on the other end of the line. I expected to be fired. Instead, he said, "Life happens. Send me what you have now. Take the 48 hours. Don't make me regret this." That small act of professional grace felt like a lifeline in a storm. Fueled by that sliver of hope, I took my next step. I drafted a cold, precise email to both Liam and Chloe. The subject line read, "Formal demand for return of unauthorized transfer, M Design LLC." The body of the email was simple. "This email serves as a formal demand for the immediate and full return of the $87,450 transferred from my business account on October 8, 2025. If the funds are not returned within 48 hours, I will be filing a police report for wire fraud and initiating civil litigation. This is your only notification." Chloe bombarded me with tearful voicemails, calling me a monster. Liam sent a single chilling text. "You really want to do this the ugly way? Fine." They had shown their hand. There was no remorse. A week later, I was scrolling through my phone in a library parking lot when a mutual friend's Instagram story popped up. It was Liam and Chloe, clinking champagne glasses at a trendy, expensive restaurant downtown. The location tag was right there. The caption read, "Celebrating new beginnings. So proud of these two entrepreneurs." I wasn't going to make a scene. I had already made my move. I drove downtown, walked into the restaurant, and saw them at their table, surrounded by mimosas and eggs Benedict. Their smiles vanished when they saw me. I didn't say a word. I just walked up to their table and placed a thick manila folder between them. Inside were copies of the police report I had filed that morning and a letter from a lawyer. I looked Liam right in the eye. "You said you wanted to do this the ugly way," I said, my voice steady. "This is me agreeing." Then I turned and walked out, leaving them in stunned silence. The days after that were a grind. I'd wake up at 5 a.m. to go to a 24-hour gym to shower. I worked on Mr. Vance's branding project from a library, using their free Wi-Fi until they closed. Then I'd move to my car and hotspot from my phone until the battery died. That project became my entire world. It was the best work of my life, fueled by desperation and focus. I delivered it on time. Mr. Vance wasn't just impressed. He was blown away. In late November, he called me for a video meeting. He said, "Maya, your work under pressure is extraordinary. My company is opening a new creative division. I don't want you as a freelancer. I want you to run it. And I'll give you a signing bonus that will solve your temporary displacement issue immediately." The amount he offered was more than what they had stolen. By January, it was over. Faced with irrefutable evidence, Liam and Chloe agreed to a legal settlement to avoid felony charges. Their wages would be garnished for the next decade. I wouldn't get it all back at once, but I would get justice. The signing bonus from Mr. Vance allowed me to secure a beautiful new apartment. I'll never forget the feeling of that first hot shower, of sleeping in my own bed, the profound, simple feeling of being safe. While I was unpacking, I found my old car keys. I held them in my hand, feeling the cold metal, the weight of the last few months. They had been my prison, but they had also been my survival shelter, my mobile office. I didn't throw them away. I placed them in a small dish on my new desk, a tangible reminder that I had survived rock bottom and driven myself out. They took my money, my home, and my trust. but they couldn't take my talent. They couldn't take my resilience. In the end, the person who saved me wasn't a knight in shining armor. It was a client who saw my value, and more importantly, it was me, refusing to give up. The ultimate lesson is this: build your foundation on something no one can ever take from you, your own worth.